Hello friends, welcome to Rapid Revision series by Physiology Matters. Topic for this video is shock. Now first, the definition of shock. So shock is a clinical syndrome in which reduction of effective tissue perfusion it leads to the cellular dysfunction, thus multi-organ failure, and even it can lead to the death. So in short, in shock there is inadequate delivery of the oxygen and nutrients to the major organs. So which are major organs? These are heart, then brain, liver, kidney, gastrointestinal tract. So here these major organs, they get less oxygen supply, less nutrient supply. So also there is inadequate cardiac output, which leads to the multi-organ failure, and in some advanced cases it can even lead to the death. So this is shock. So which are types of the shock? So number one, hypovolemic shock, distributive shock or vasogenic shock, cardiogenic shock, and obstructive shock. Out of these, hypovolemic and cardiogenic shock, most of the questions they are asked on these two types of the shocks. Now first we will see hypovolemic shock. So this shock is due to decrease in circulating blood volume. So there can be a loss of blood or a fluid from the body, which can result into the hypovolemic shock. So which are causes? So causes can be internal hemorrhage, external hemorrhage. So in internal hemorrhage there can be a gastrointestinal bleed, GI bleed. External hemorrhage, it can be due to the trauma or accidents. Then other causes are dehydration, diarrhea, vomiting, excessive sweating. So all these causes can lead to the hypovolemic shock. Which are clinical features? Cold and clammy skin, dry mouth, tachycardia, sweating, decreased urine output, that is oliguria, and rapid pulse. Okay, so these are the clinical features of the hypovolemic shock. Next type of a shock is cardiogenic shock. This cardiogenic shock, it is due to the decrease in the pumping activity of the heart. So which can be the causes? Most of the time these are cardiogenic causes. So causes for cardiogenic shock are acute myocardial infarction, myocarditis, mitral stenosis, aortic stenosis, cardiomyopathy, and ventricular septal defects. So these can be the causes for cardiogenic shock. So which are clinical features? So apart from the general features, clinical features, they are raised JVP, that is jugular venous pulse or pressure, pulmonary edema, arrhythmia, oliguria. These can be the clinical features in cardiogenic shock. Then the next type is obstructive type of shock. Here in this type there is obstruction to the normal cardiac output and there is decrease in the perfusion. Here causes for the obstructive shock can be pulmonary hypertension, constrictive pericarditis, tension pneumothorax, pulmonary emboli, intrathoracic tumor. Next type is the distributive shock. Here it can be a septic shock, anaphylactic shock, or a neurogenic shock. In septic shock, this is due to the infection. So there is toxin production which can lead to the septic shock. Anaphylactic shock, it is generally in cases of the allergic reactions. And neurogenic shock, here the vasomotor center, vasomotor tone, it is generally depressed in neurogenic shock. So these are the types of the shock. Then the next part is stages of shock. So the first stage is non-progressive, second is progressive, and third one is irreversible. Non-progressive stage is also called as compensatory stage. Then the progressive and irreversible. So we will see one by one. Non-progressive stage of a shock, or it is also called as compensatory stage. So this stage here, the compensatory mechanisms, they act here and they can return the cardiac output and blood pressure to the normal level. So that's why it is called as compensatory stage, and it is non-progressive. So which are the mechanisms acting here? They are baroreceptor reflex, then angiotensin aldosterone, and ADS secretion. these mechanisms are also important here. Then there is increased thirst and water intake, absorption of fluid from the interstitial fluid and gastrointestinal tract. So these are the compensatory mechanisms. These three compensatory mechanisms are important which act during the non-progressive or compensatory stage. Then the next stage is progressive stage. So in this stage, if the patient is not treated on time, it can also lead to the death. So that's why it is called as progressive stage. Here the basic mechanisms are cardiac failure, vasomotor failure, toxin release, that is toxemia, then septic shock and multi-organ failure. Here in this progressive stage, there is decrease in the myocardial contractility, which leads to the decrease in the coronary blood flow, and this cycle repeats itself. So it forms a vicious cycle which again worsens the shock. Then vasomotor failure, it is mainly due to the less blood supply to the vasomotor center. So as the cardiac output is decreased, the vasomotor center it receives less blood supply, so there is vasomotor failure. Then toxin release, these are histamine and serotonin. So these toxins are released in this stage. Then septicemia or septic shock, and all these things leads to the decrease in the perfusion, tissue perfusion, organ perfusion, and it leads to the multi-organ failure. Then the irreversible stage, here no treatment works and this stage leads to the death. So which are the mechanisms acting here? The mechanisms are hypoxia, microcirculation failure, inflammatory response is there, then acidosis and DIC, that is disseminated intravascular coagulation. So all these are the stages of the shock. Out of this, the non-progressive or compensatory stage is important and progressive stage is also important. Then these are the common clinical features of the shock, or if the question is that what are the clinical features of circulatory shock, you can write all these clinical features. So there in shock there will be fall in the blood pressure, then weakness, rapid and thready pulse, tachycardia, sweating, oliguria, cold and pale skin, then rapid and shallow breathing, that is the breathing rate is increased there, increased thirst and disorientation, unconsciousness. So all these are the common clinical features of the shock. Then the part of the question can be, what is the physiological basis of treatment of shock? So treatment of shock, it mainly depends on the type and cause of a shock. So for a particular type of the shock and what is the cause for that shock, that treatment depends. Now first the general treatment. So this is the this is called as the ABC of a treatment, that is the airway, breathing and circulation. So first you have to maintain the airway, okay, then breathing. If the breathing is not proper, oxygen therapy can be used here, and for circulation we can give the IV fluid, whole blood or a plasma transfusion also, and dextran solution can also be given, and sympathomimetic drugs can also be used. So these sympathomimetic drugs, they are mainly used in neurogenic and anaphylactic shock. So these drugs are dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine. So these sympathomimetic drugs can be used in neurogenic and anaphylactic type of shock. Now we will see one of the two important types and their main treatment. So hypovolemic and cardiogenic shock. So hypovolemic shock, general treatment is same. You have to first maintain the ABC, airway, breathing and circulation. Then in this hypovolemic shock, you have to treat the cause. So in both the type, hypovolemic and cardiogenic, you have to treat the cause. So in hypovolemic, the most important treatment is volume replacement. So if there is a loss of fluid, so we can give a Ringer's lactate solution, IV infusion, and if there is a loss of blood, so in that case we can give the whole blood transfusion, plasma transfusion, dextran transfusion can also be given, and oxygenation can be given. Then for the fluid loss we can give the intravenous electrolyte solution, that is the Ringer's lactate solution. So this is the main treatment line for hypovolemic shock. Then cardiogenic shock, again general treatment is same, ABC, airway, breathing and circulation. Then treatment of the cause, we had seen that it can be due to various cardiac causes. So first you have to treat that cause. Okay, so during the treatment of this cardiogenic shock, the main line of treatment is vasopressors, inotropes, diuretics can be given, fibrinolytic treatment can be there, given, and CABG, that is the coronary artery bypass graft. So it can also be given in case of the arterial blockage of the coronary arterial blockage. So this is the treatment line for the cardiogenic shock. So during your exams, basically during your exams what happens, the main questions are: number 1 definition, number 2 classify or describe the or state the types of the shock. Then you have to describe either type of the shock. Most of the time it is hypovolemic shock, so you have to describe it, what is hypovolemic shock, causes and clinical features. Then cardiogenic shock can also be asked, what is cardiogenic shock, causes and their clinical features. Then obstructive distributive, you should know about them. Septic shock, anaphylactic shock, neurogenic shock, you should know a little bit about them. Then stages of shock is important, non-progressive and progressive, they are most commonly asked questions in as a part of long answer question. So non-progressive, you can read these things. So these mechanisms are important: what is non-progressive, what is progressive, what is irreversible stage, and what are their main mechanisms are important. Then clinical features is important, and this physiological basis of treatment of shock. Here the type and the cause of treatment, cause of the shock is important, and this is the general treatment which you should know, and this is the specific treatment. In hypovolemic, volume replacement is the important treatment, and in cardiogenic shock, treatment of the cause is important. So this is all about the shock. Thank you.